Okay, so we're factoring these different polynomials, and we always check for a GCF first. I have a 6 here, so I want it to be a 1, but that does not go into either of these. So I'm going to use my box method, right? And I'm going to multiply. I'm going to make it a 1 by multiplying 6 times 5. All right, so I get 6 times 5 is 30. And then I wanted to add up these factors to add up to 17 to be B. All right. Always at the top is A times C, and here you have B. All right. Well, 2 times 15 is 30, and 2 plus 15 is 17. All right. So now I'm going to make my box here. All right. And I know I've got to go back to what I'm trying to get. This is the product I want. So I'm going to have 6x squared here and 5 here. Right? And then now I know what's going to be inside here. I'm going to have 15x and 2x. Right? And notice that's 17x. Okay? So all these terms here in the box are going to add up to this. Right? But I'm looking for factors. Right? The whole point of this is I'm trying to find the factors. So I'm going to use the find the greatest common factor of each row and column here. Okay, so 3 goes into both of these, and also they both have a factor of x. And then in here, there is no common factor except for 1, right? So 1 is my greatest common factor. And then here, that would be doing the rows, right, going across. And then now I'm going to look at the columns. So I'm looking at 6 and 2. Well, 2 is a common factor, and x is a common factor. And then here, 5 is a common factor, right? So I have 2x plus 5 and 3x. 2x plus 5 times 3x plus 1. And so these are two factors that multiply together to equal that. And I know they do because if I FOIL them or if I box them, I get this, and then that is equal to that. All right? So now over here, same thing. GCF, 2, 5, 3. No. Okay, I can't divide them all by 2. So what I have to do is multiply 8 times C. So I've got negative 6, and I want them to multiply by, and then I want them to add up to 5. All right, well, 2 and 3 add up to 5, but they don't multiply to be negative 6. All right, they have to be positive and negative. All right, so I want negative 6 and positive 5. So how about 1 and 6? All right, and then if I have a 6 minus 1, that's a positive 5. All right, so, but remember, this is what I'm looking for, so I'm going to make my box here, and I'm going to put A here and C here, my original problem. And then, but now I know that these are what goes in the middle. So I'm going to have a negative x and a 6x, a positive 6x. Okay? If this is negative right here, then this is going to be negative. Okay? So I've got, basically in this row, right, I'm looking at this row, all they have in common is an x. I could put a 1, but I'm not going to because it just makes it more complicated. I'll look at this row. What they have in common is 3. Okay? And since this is positive right here, I'm going to think that that's going to be positive there. And then now I'm going to look at the columns. Right? And so they both have a 2 in common, and they both have an x in common. All right? And then a quick check. This 2x times x is 2x squared, right? And then now I have here, what they both have is a negative 1. All right, there's the only common factor here is a negative 1. So my two factors would be x plus 3 and 2x minus 1. Okay? And another quick check is I've got negative 1 times positive 3 is negative 3. It's always good to just do an easy, just to check and make sure your signs are right. Okay, and so these are the two factors. So that's not so bad at all. All right, and it can be very complicated. Like if you have a 30 here, like this, right? 17 and 9. Was there a common factor between any of those? No, unfortunately. So A times C, I get 270, right? And I want them to add up to be negative 17. So that seemed really hard. It was a very big number, but then actually it's not so bad because this ends in 0. So 10 times 27 is 270, right? And then notice that 10 minus 27 is negative 17. So now I'm going to go back to my original problem here and make a box where I put these factors in here. So I have 30x squared and negative 9. Okay? And then I know that these are going to be the middle two factors that are going to add up together. So negative 27x and positive 10x. Because they add up to my negative 17. Alright, so what's in the box here, all these add up to that. Alright, but I don't want that. What I want are the factors, right? So now I'm going to look at my greatest common factor of each row. So looking across here, 30 and 27, 3 goes into both of them, and then they both have an x, right? Let me just make a little bit more room, erase this a little bit, okay? And so, then going across here, I've got, what they have in common is just a 1, right? There's nothing in common. So that would be, and this is plus, so this is plus 1. And then now this is minus, so this is going to be a minus. And I've got, they both have a 10 in common, right? And they both have an x in common. Right, and just as a quick little check, 10 times 3 is 30. X times x is x squared. Okay, so that checks out. And then now I've got 27 and 9. This is minus, so this is going to be minus, and then I have a 9. They both have a factor of 9, and that's it. So my two factors here would be 3x plus 1 times 10x minus 9. Okay? And that equals that product. Alright, so this is actually a really good system. It seems like, oh, maybe I could try doing stuff in my head, but it's very nice if it's just all like, if you just work it out like we're doing here. So again, try to divide out the 4, but I can't. Alright, so I'm going to multiply it a times c. 4 times 15, or negative 15 is negative 60. And then my middle term is negative 17. Okay, so what can I multiply to be 60 and add up to 17 would be 2 times 15. Oh no, that's not 16. Or 17. Negative 60 and negative 17. How about 3 and 20 is 60? 3 times 20 is 60. And then 3 minus 20 is negative 17, right? Okay, so now but I've got to do the box so that I have these actual terms that I'm looking for down here. So I've got 4x squared and negative 15. And then to get my middle term, that's these guys. So I have 3x minus 20x. Alright, and then now I'm going to do my greatest common factor of this row. All they have is an x. right? And in this row, this is negative, so this would be minus 5, and that's it. And then looking at the columns, all right, looking at the columns, I've got 4 and 20, so that will be 4, and then they both have an x. And then a quick check, 4 times 1 is 4, and x times x is x squared. So that checks out. This times this is that. Okay. And then now, looking here, I'm on the greatest common factor, and this is positive, so this is plus 3. Right? And then notice again, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So that checks out too. Okay, so my two factors would be 4x plus 3 times x minus 5. And once you get the hang of it, it's kind of fun, actually. I'll leave on that note.